So you know that I'm not a robot.
That's for sure.
What happened?
I think it flipped to, if that's a picture, then it flipped to actual and then back to picture.
I guess everybody saw the announcement. We're live streaming. There's Sky, but he is muted.
Good morning, Rich. Happy birthday. 75 years old.
Yay! I made it.
You made it.
All y'all in 1 minute, he says. And I see, Tina, that you are now co-host, so you can admit folks as they come in. I think we've been intimidated into not speaking.
She's not there.
Okay, it looks like everybody is muted except me, Harry, and Carol. So when you guys get a chance, go for it.
Talking fast.
That's for sure, Pete. Looks like we'll be starting shortly. Or maybe tallly.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sherry. Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well.
It looks like we've got a sound issue again. Might be the same one. I'm working with Dan right now, and we might have to close the Zoom account and reopen, in which case I think you will all need to log back in, but wait for me to tell you that. Did everybody hear it? Thumbs up if you hear it. Great, thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. Welcome everyone to Unity of Kanawha Valley, you brave, courageous people. Now every 10 minutes, Ron's going to ring the bell, and just if you trade seats, it'll look like there's more here. So, today our announcements are, first of all, Barbie's going to give us a little update on the manse progress. So here she comes.
Let's see, who's here? So I want to look at the people on Zoom and thank the people who have come out to volunteer and help with the cleaning. There are just a couple more things that need to be done, and my goal is to get it wrapped up next week. There's a couple of bedrooms that still need to be dusted, and there's the hallway and the stairway. The basement, Sally has already committed to doing the second coat of paint, but the floors down there need to be cleaned. There's some mud on the floors. We need a good sweeping. We've got a shop vac and a wet vac, so that's going to happen next week too. So if you can find it in your heart to come on out and maybe give us a couple of hours of time, contact me. My contact information is on the inside flyer, inside the bulletin, or contact Pam. And at the church, call the church, email the church, and let her know that you're interested, and we'll coordinate. There's a notebook on the stairs that has every room listed and everything that needs to be done in every room listed. So you can have the joy of putting an X on the box if you do the work. And even better, if you see something that needs to be done that's not on the list, write it down. And if you do it, you can check it off. I do that a lot while I'm over there, because I always see little things that need to happen, and then I write them down and check them off. So please, please, we are getting really, really close to being done, and we'll have some exciting news about an upcoming open house so that everybody can see. And a special thanks to all the Zoom people, because I know lots of you have volunteered, have come out, and you're kind of behind the scenes, and we're not seeing you here at church, but thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for everybody, all your support, all of the fundraising, just, you fill my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbie. In my next life, I want to be half as organized as she is. Okay, our announcements this week: the Davis Children's Shelter is still collecting luggage and backpacks for the kids, so we appreciate your donation to them for that. Sojourners this month is collecting new socks, towels, washcloths, and Lysol wipes. So if you're interested in helping Sojourners, just let Pam know and she'll take care of the rest of it. Tuesday, March 15th is a Board of Trustees meeting. If you're on the board, you know you need to be there at 5:30. Be here, be here. And then Saturday, March 26th is the Woody Holly concert with Chris Haddix. Yeah. Are they going to stream that again?
Not this one.
Not this one?
The one in May.
Okay, great. Okay, so you can get your tickets through the website, through the Clay Center website. Go to the ticket office at the Clay Center. Also joining Chris will be Johnny Statz, John Posey, Julie Adams, Steve Hill, and Almond Solomon. So that should be a great concert. And then Wednesday, March the 30th, Barbie has initiated a group called the Unravel Group. Boy, I need that. Or maybe I'm already unraveled, I don't know. But this is a journaling discussion group, and it's open to all who are interested, so just let her know if you'd like to come. It's just a monthly check-in for support, inspiration, encouragement, and friendship, and who doesn't need that?
Very laid back.
Yes.
Very little is required.
Okay.
Have them feel better.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Welcome. Shalom, namaste. Turn the mic on. Good morning. Welcome. Shalom, namaste, aloha. The light in me greets the light in you. My name is Sky Kirshner. I want to welcome you to Unity Live and Unity Online. We're so glad to have you with us from wherever you are. There will be a discussion immediately after the service today in the Sunday school room and on Zoom if you'd like to join us. The mission of Unity of Kanawha Valley is to provide you with a welcoming community of love, acceptance, and spiritual support. We celebrate our unity in being alive together, and we affirm our diversity that each one of us is on our own unique journey. It is my hope that you will know that you are welcome here just as you are, that you feel free to be yourself, and you feel free to explore some ideas that might be useful in your life. Today we will be looking at the idea of light and the idea that no circumstance, no situation separates us from the love of God and from the consciousness of the awareness of God's love in our life. Prayer is a central part of what we're about here today, so let's do that right now. Would you soften your gaze? Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Let a smile come to your lips and say silently to yourself, divine wisdom is providing for me right now. Usually we imagine that we're holding someone that we love, but today I'd like to recommend that you hold and visualize in your mind's eye someone who's a stranger to you, maybe someone in a different part of the world, someone who is struggling right now, someone who might be feeling alone. I want you to imagine them. Reach out to them in your mind and in your heart. Look them in the eye and say to them, divine love is providing for you right now. And would you give yourself a big yawn and a big stretch? And would you turn to someone near you and say to them, thank you for being with me in my life. Thank you for being in my life. And I want to thank each of you for being here today, whether you're here live or on Zoom. Your being here is part of the world that we're creating today. Every small thing you do makes a difference. I want to thank the universe, God, the source of all life and love, for another day on this amazing journey. And I want to thank everyone who's made this service possible. For Pam Hippler, our maestro of administrative unification, for Jeff and Ron, our unmasked marauders of music, for Peggy, our worship leader today, for Tenna, who is our Zoom hostess with the mostest, for Rich and for Danny in the back, part of the IA Unity AV Club, and for our amazing prayer chaplains, who call each of our members with prayer every month, for Sharon, for Janet, Marianne, Laura, and Alexa, for Snally Snyder and the kids' Sunday school, for our daily word reader today, Pam Hippler, yay! And guess who was your junior bell ringer today? I was. Little Sky Kirshner rang the bell today. I'm gonna give myself a hug. I want to remind you that God is our source. The pen is in your hand, and a new day is dawning for us all. So let us spend some time in appreciating this present moment in an extended time of meditation and prayer. So let's begin by noticing the sounds in the room. The sound of the heating system. The sound of shuffling, of bodies getting more comfortable. Let us bring our awareness to our bodies, to the points of contact between our body and the pew or the bench, the chair or the floor. Notice the way the floor is holding us up with perfect support. You might notice your breathing. The circulation of breathing in and breathing out. This exchange of resources, us bringing into our bodies this resource of air, which is freely given to us, and letting go of a resource that the plants and the trees can use. And we notice this circulation, this giving, receiving, holding, letting go, and resting. Jesus said, "Seek ye the kingdom. The kingdom is among you. It is in your midst. It is at hand. And the kingdom is within." And so we go within, pondering this mystery that the kingdom of God is within each and every one of us, that our connection to Source is within each and every one of us. This is a place of abundance and sufficiency, a place where we are reminded that we are enough, that we have enough, that our community is enough, that this world contains everything we need, that there is nothing missing. This is a place of healing, a place of wholeness, of restoration of the mind, the body, the spirit, and a place of acceptance. Acceptance of limitations, acceptance of ourselves as we are. This is a place of friendship, a place of relationship, a place of love, a place of apology, a place of repentance, a place of forgiveness, and a place of reconciliation. And this is a place of guidance, where the still small voice still speaks within. A place where we listen, a place where we feel our intuition, a place where we know ourselves to be guided as part of this amazing, amazing mystery, the divine order of the world. And it's from this place that we reach out to anyone, anywhere, in any need or trouble. Those living in fear, those who are fleeing for their lives, those who feel alone and abandoned, those who feel forgotten, those carrying anguish from the past, those scared for the future, those struggling with violence, suicide, addiction, difficult diagnoses. We are reaching out to you right now in our mind's eye. We know that God's love and God's presence is spread out equally throughout this universe and throughout this world. And we know that the consciousness of God's presence is possible for every person in every situation without exception. And for this, we are grateful.
The daily word for today is light. As the sun comes in and daylight savings time, the light of truth dissolves all darkness. A bird's cheerful song interrupts the quiet of the night. The dark sky grows lighter and puffy clouds begin to glow with a beautiful shade of pink. Brilliant rays announce the sun's arrival. The sun peeks over the horizon, flooding the new day with light. Light dissolves darkness in my consciousness in a similar way. At a challenging time, my heart responds to the hopeful thought that this too shall pass. Hope grows into faith as my mind opens to the divine wisdom that is always mine to claim. Guided by the dawning light of truth, I see the way forward and follow it with confidence. As surely as each day begins and brings a sunrise, my faith assures the light of truth will dissolve the darkness of any obstacle I may face. John 1:5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn. It hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear that music ringing. It sounds and echoes in my soul. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I peace of Christ makes all things fresh from my heart, a fountain ever springing. All things are mine since I am his. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing?
Thank you so much, Ron and Jeff. Well, some of you know I was at a dinner party at my wife's friend's, Martha Hagney's house several months ago. I was very nervous because I'm COVID nervous. And yes, I've got my mask on. And at that dinner party was Martha's sister, Claudia, who was visiting from New Orleans. Lovely person, bienvenidos. So glad to have you here with us. Some of you may know that in the past 20 or 30 years, we've had 3 great refugee movements. We're witnessing one this week right now in the Ukraine as people flee for their lives. 2 years ago in Syria. And before that, at least in terms of the Western world, I might be missing a couple that I'm not aware of. It's refugees from Colombia. Difficult situation there. And as many people fled Colombia as fled Syria and as fled Ukraine now. And so Dr. Claudia is from Colombia. And we're very glad to have you here. And as I mentioned several months ago, Claudia has an amazing story, and she's willing to be here to tell it to us. So come on up, Claudia, and let's hear a warm unity welcome for Dr. Claudia Duque.
I think so. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come here and share my experience. I have a little accent, so that's why, because I'm from Colombia. Colombia is a place, it's a country in South America that has a very privileged location geographically, because it has the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. It's in a corner. So there are a lot of things that happens there. Drugs, smuggling, everything. But most of the people are very good people. That's only a little group that is really trying to mess up things. I came from a Catholic home where my mother taught us how to pray. So I'm so thankful for my mother, because she planted in our hearts the seed of faith. And not that we are very involved in church and all that things, but we are really believers. And like in my life, I always have had God. Only with a little time in my life that I didn't believe in God because I was a renegade. Then I started in the medical school. And they start talking about physical and chemicals and at the same time biology. And I said, it's impossible that you cannot mix all these elements with all the enzymes and give life. So in that moment, I believe in God. 100%. So science led me to have a really belief in God. So one day we were getting inside our farm. We have land planted in sugarcane, and my sister who passed and myself had a little part of the land where we were planted lemons and plantains and fish and all the stuff. So we were going to have a farm that was self-sufficient and was going to be a model for Latin America. That was with Novartis, the lab, the Switzerland lab. But one day we get there and there were a big rock. I don't know how, I'm so tiny, and I thought I could move that rock from the middle of the road. And I get out of the truck, and when I get out, I felt like a cold in my back, like when you are watching a terror movie, a horrible movie. So I get inside and I told my sister, run. And she didn't understand why, but in that moment, we were already surrounded by people. 4 men, they were surrounding us. They have machine guns, and a long rifle. And they took us. They put places inside the sugarcane. Sugarcane is like labyrinth. If you didn't grow there, you don't know how to get out of there. Wherever you see is sugarcane, squares of sugarcane. So it's very difficult to orientate yourself there. They put us inside, and then I start saying, what are you going to do with us? Is this a kidnapping? Yes. This is a flash kidnapping? Flash kidnapping thinks that you means that you give them money and you negotiate your freedom immediately, 2-3 hours. And they say, no, this is rebellion. We are guerrilla. We are fighting for the poor, of course. And they said, we are here for ransom, not for ransom. This is rebellion. Okay, so they stopped us in the middle of the sugarcane. They left my sister there, and they took me. That was the most terrifying moments. It's the worst fear that you can ever imagine, but that fear doesn't come and go. It stays with you all the time. So, but I always negotiate with them. Do you want to talk? Do you want money? What do you want? So, but they say, no, no, no. They left my sister, and they told my sister, you are responsible for your sister. Now on, if anything happens to her, it's because of you. So I get inside the car, and the guy told me, wherever I go, you go. Wherever I stay, you stay. Whatever I do, you do. And he passed his arm over my shoulders, and we left that place, and we went up on the mountains. Then the guy said, this is a place, so we get off, and we get up on the mountains, now walking all the time. And then they sat me in a gorgeous, beautiful tree. It was like a throne, but I couldn't escape from there. So I have to be sitting there, and he was in front of me. And when the moment I sat, and the guy took my purse, I say, thank you, God, for giving me this place where I can sit. So I don't know why I say that, but I felt all the time with God. I didn't renegade any moment. I didn't say, why me? What is this happening to me? Or be angry or nothing like that. I just was thanking God all the time. And then the guy said, who we have here? We have a physician. They didn't know I was a physician. And that is extremely dangerous, because they can sell you to another guerrilla group, so you work for them. So you can do whatever they want for themselves. And then that evening we stayed in the mountain. It was very cold, but I really didn't feel any cold. And it was the most beautiful evening you can ever imagine. It was so gorgeous. It was full of stars. And when I saw that, and I understood that I was not going to be outside for a long time. And I said, thank you, God, I understood that God was telling me, you are going to go away, but I'm giving you this beautiful view of the sky. So I say, thank you, God, for my farewell with this beautiful evening. So in the early morning, we walk a lot. We pass a little river, And then they placed me inside, they covered myself. That was terrorizing. I thought I cannot feel more fear than I have right now, but yes, you could feel more fear when they cover my eyes and they place a black cover on my black bag on my face. That's the way they torture people. So you only see then the dead bodies on the roads, tortured and killed. So that was a terrible moment as well. And then we went to a small house, a very small house. They hold me, they carry me inside the house. So next day, there were a person who moved the little curtain. I was in a very, very small place, and all of them, they were sleeping there with myself as well, and they gave me a bed. All of them were sleeping on the floor, but they gave me a bed, and it was a little curtain that closed the furniture that was here. I was sleeping like this. There were a furniture here, and there was that little curtain. But I couldn't do anything. If I breathe, they immediately, what are you doing? What's going on? So you have not intimacy. They gave me a little plastic, ¿cómo se dice? Vasenilla? Vaso? Baco, a little thing like you put it for the children. And that's my bathroom. That was my bathroom, in the middle of all of them. So they knew if I was doing my physiological needs, anything. So I didn't have any type of intimacy, nothing. And then I couldn't see the light. There were no lights at all. They were so close that I couldn't see anything. In the evening was so dark that I had to touch my eyes to see if they were closed or open. And then he opened the door, the curtain, and said, you know what? And good morning. And I said, good morning, how are you? And he said, you are very different. So they are that type of people. They are trained to have kidnap people. I say, you are very different. I know that you are going to be good, so look what I have here. He has chains and locks to change me. I said, but I'm not going to change you because you say good morning to me. So all the time I was praying. The third day I was driving myself crazy. I couldn't read, I couldn't do anything. So I say, oh my God, they start turning on the lights 2 hours in the evenings. So I said, oh my God, if I just have a Bible. 2 or 3 hours later, a guy came with a red Bible with gold letters and said, you didn't cry, you are a very strong person, that strength can only come from God. Because I heard, so he gave me the Bible, and since that moment I started reading the Bible when they allow me to, when they turn on the lights. So I read the Bible like 3 times, once everywhere, once the books that I like it, and the last time in order. And everything that I asked was like God answered it to me through the Bible. So I have some things that they were very, very interesting. In Ecclesiastes 9:4, it says, I was so desperate one moment that I didn't care if they were going to kill me. I just wanted to end that. And they forgot to lock the door, the little door where I was, and I was going to open it. In the moment I opened it, I heard the guy who was running towards the room. I didn't have time to turn and sit, so I made 3 steps. I sat, I opened the Bible, I take my breath like this, so he didn't know that I was standing up. And I read this: anyone who is among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. So I understood that God didn't want me to be dead. He was protecting me to be alive all the time. So not risk myself. That's what I understood. And the other day I was talking about spirituality with the woman who took direct care of myself. And she asked me, do you believe in God? And I say, yes. And they were reading all the time that Psalm that the Psalm 91 that protects you all the time. Does God, you protect me? Okay, it's the 91 that everybody reads in bad times. And I started telling her, because she said, sometimes I believe in God, sometimes not. And I told her my experience. And I received long time ago a workshop about God through the science. So all equations and everything. So the only answer for all of this is God. And I was explaining that, the quantum physics and all that stuff to her. And then she said, it was a noise. And she said, wait. She took the machine gun and she left. And I was waiting for her because to finish everything. And she was very interested. And she started cooking. She forgot everything about me. And I opened the Bible and I said, Matthew 7:6. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to the pigs. They will trample the pearls, then turn and attack you. So I understood that I shouldn't talk about spirituality with her at that moment. And the time passed, and one day I was desperate, of course. But that day in particular, I always read 10 paternosters from my place of work to my house. And I always say, God, these prayers are for whatever you want, not for me, whatever you want. So I continued that routine to pray my 10 paternosters. And that day at noon, I have the possibility of read, because they let me the lights on. They had the curtain moved, so I could walk like 3 steps forward, back and forward. That was all. And they gave me a radio. So at that time, they were a good program, and I always listen to that program. But that day, instead of that, I say, no, I'm going to pray. So I start praying, but my sister Patricia and I, we always make fun on the people who make those sacrifices and go in the needles towards the altar. That's very common in my country. So people make a promise. So if I have this work, or my son is not sick anymore, so I'm going to get inside the church on my knees. So we always make fun on that. Wow. So we were very, very young. So my mother said, you have to go out of the church. So we were happy because we were having fun there. But in this case, you start negotiating everything with God. God, if I get out of this, I will be a better person. If I get out of this, I'm going to clean my house better. If I get this, I negotiate everything that I could. So that day, I pull up the liquor they gave me, and I needle on the floor. And the floor was stones with cement, so it was very hard. When I finished my 10 paternosters, I couldn't stand up. It's like the skin was stuck on the floor. And then I start looking at the wall in front of me, and I say, okay, God, talk to me. Nothing. Where are you? Nothing. You have a promise to me. You told me I'm loved. I'm your loved daughter. Where are you? Nothing. Talk to me like for a cell phone, because I don't have Abraham faith. I have Moses faith. I don't believe. Talk to me. Nothing. Zero. And then I say, okay, I accept you're not going to show to me. If you didn't show to Jesus, why to me? And then he said, okay, I don't want to die. But if I die, I don't want to die in pain, that they don't torture me. But if they torture me, I don't want to renegade of yourself. I don't want to be against you. Okay, if they kill me, I want they kill me, and not with a knife or something like that, better a shotgun. Now, if they shot me, I want to shot me in the chest, so they don't destroy my face. Because if they don't destroy myself, my children wouldn't be allowed to see me or my family. Okay, now if I'm dead, that my family found me. And if I'm dead, that they found me when I am not putrefied, so my family could see me. So I negotiate every single detail of my death. And then I was saying this, and I say, thank you, because I really know you have been with me. I know if I'm going to die, my family and myself are going to learn a lesson. And I appreciated that when I have headache, they gave me a pill, or they gave me water, they gave me food. I appreciate all this. I know you have been with me. And sometimes I feel so lonely, I shouldn't, but because you have been with me. And I said, after all this negotiation, I closed my eyes. And when I closed my eyes, I saw the Virgin Mary. And she was like smiling to me. And the brightness of the teeth were so hard that even my closed eyes hurt. And his foot started to turn over the neck of the snake. And I always say, Virgin Mary, when are you going to kill the snake of the sin that they committed against myself and my family? And the snake started to have scissors and throw the teeth on. I opened my eyes and said, no, okay, God, I understood. I'm going to go back, but I don't want to go back crazy, because I thought I was having, I was dissociating myself. So, oh my God, I said, okay, I'm going to go back. I understood. So I sat and I opened the Bible in Queen's Third. It was a big Bible. So it was not way to be mistaken. And it was open not in where I had marked. It opened in Psalm 27. And it says, the Lord is my life and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Exactly what I was saying. I say, I know you have been with me, but I'm still afraid. I'm sorry that you showed me that you have been with me, and still I have fear. And the second versicle says, when I wicked, even my enemies and my foes come upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. In that moment, when I talked with the lieutenant, I was rescued by the police next day, exactly next day. And I asked the lieutenant, how did you get me? And he said, we catch a guy, and at noon, afternoon, in between noon and 1, it was the time I was praying. I knew exactly the way you and where you were. So it's a lot of coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is a communication. And they said, through the host encamped against me, heart shall not fear. Through war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. So I understood that I was going protected no matter what happened. And there were 150 soldiers that went in my rescue. And neither one bullet was shot. So this was a premonition. There was a communication. Nothing was going to happen to me. Particularly because when the success of this type of groups is not to take the criminals. The only mission they have is to rescue the person, nothing else. So if they kill the person who they have as a hostage, if they kill the hostage, the police has not successful. And so they kill you. They kill the person, so they don't care they are going to go to jail or they are going to be killed, but they don't allow them to have success. So that doesn't happen to me. The guy who was with me, the vigilant, he slept like this with a machine gun in his hand, and I was crossing his face, and the door was here. So if the police came, they get in and they shot me. He didn't shoot me. One thing I decided, in this moment I asked, God, but tell me, shall I escape or shall I stay? Because I already have a window opened, and I didn't know if I could escape by that window. But he said, I always ask God, when is the Gaula coming? Gaula is the name of this special group. When is the Gaula coming? When is the Gaula coming for me? And I said, shall I escape or shall I stay? And he said, one thing I desire of the Lord, that will I seek after. So I understood not to escape because they were going to rescue me. And if I opened the door and leave by there, they were not the man chain like they told me. They were another room. So in that moment, they will take me and they will kill me because I was trying to escape. So that was the advice I received. And then he said, for the time of the trouble, he shall hide me. It's when there is a rescue and they have machine guns, both have machine guns, it's like a war. So, but that didn't happen. I always were protected by God. And the other versicle, and now shall my head be lifted above my enemies around me. Therefore, I will offer his tabernacle sacrifices. So when I was reading when I was reading this, and I say, thank you, God, because I know now that you are going to rescue me, but protect me from being proud of myself or proud of anything, and I won't say anything. I will keep this message secret. I won't tell anybody. But then he says, I have to give sacrifices of joy. I will sing here. I will sing praises unto the Lord. So I understood that I have to give the message. I couldn't keep it for myself. That's why I'm very thankful with all of you and the people that I've seen online to give me the opportunity to share this real experience. Then it says, hear, O Lord, when I cry my voice, because he really hurt me when I was in this trouble. And he says, seek you my face, my heart, say unto thee the face, Lord, I will see. And there was a way I saw his face, because everything happened. I saw the Virgin Mary, and I felt so confident after this thing happened. And I didn't have father and mother at that moment. And he said, when my mother and my father forsake me, in this case, not that, but I was an orphan, then the Lord will take me up. Teach me the way, O Lord. I lead me in a plain path because of my enemies. When they took the guy to the place in that early morning of the rescue, he told the gaula that they had me in a creek that was behind the house. So the lieutenant said, okay, now I'm going to get inside the house first, and then you come behind me and you kill everybody. You kill everybody. And the guy said, oh, no, I'm going to say the truth. She's there. I'm telling her, but don't kill my boys. So this were not for that, we all were killed. Delivers me not on the will of mine enemies, for forever witness are rising up against me, and such as breathe out of cruelty. I didn't have any cruelty. The situation like that is terrorizing, and is taking away everything from you, your life, and not only yourself, the family. The family is in limbo. They don't want to sleep, they don't want to eat, they don't want to have joy because they feel betraying the person who is kidnapped. It's like having a dead person, but without body. So they pray, they have masses, but it's like before the death. Like everybody's waiting for you to come, or dead or crazy, with a lot of problems. And I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the Lord of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. I'm sorry, this is an old English, I cannot read it. Wait, I say, on the Lord. So that's my message. There is anything that the Lord cannot do, anything. And if it doesn't happen, it's for a reason. And thank you for the opportunity to giving me this. So they all are in jail, and my family recovered me. Everything has been better since then. Thank you. Thank you. this guy. Where is he?
One more question.
Huh? Yeah.
One more question.
Oh.
Claudia, I know this is happening.
Marta. ¿Qué?
This,
No, pero es que no le entiendo a él nada.
Let me explain something. The guy that took care of her in that house where she was kept, he slept right next to her, and he always had a machine gun, like she said. And one night he had a nightmare, and the machine gun went off and went like this to her ear. So she lost her hearing, and she cannot hear too well because of the loud noise of that gun. So she has problem hearing.
But they were like 1 or 2 meters from me, 1 meter from me, and the bullet didn't hit us.
muchísimas gracias.
Yes.
Yeah.
Martica, ayúdame.
Su vida es diferente después de esta experiencia.
If you like, it's different after this.
Venía hacia acá.
I'm going to say it in Spanish, and you're going to say it in English to her. Her life is different since this experience.
Después de esa experiencia.
¿Qué?
Si tu vida fue mejor ahora después de esa experiencia.
Spiritually, yes. It was much better. Spiritually, yes.
And you are more, your friendliness and your trust in other people.
Que si confía en otras personas más.
Yes.
Say más. Diga más. Say more.
What?
Say more about that.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
After she was rescued by this gala,
Coja el.
after she was rescued by this gala organization that all they do is rescue people, she came home, and she was terrorized. So I had petitioned for her to be a citizen 10 years ahead, and her permission to go to the embassy to get a visa was due when she was kidnapped. But if you don't show up to the embassy in Bogota, the capital of Colombia, and the day they tell you, you have to wait 10 more years. But I wrote to Rockefeller. You all know him. And Bird and all of them. I said, help. Rockefeller called the embassy and said, help this family, please. And he said, he wrote letters and helped them, give her a chance. And they gave her another appointment, and they let her come here. She was allowed to come without waiting 10 more years. So, but she comes here with 2 little children, and she doesn't know English. So she's a physician, but she cannot work with like that. So she had taught the people that did permanent makeups and all that, the anatomy of the face. So she learned how to do that just because she had taught the students. So she applied for it and started doing massages and nails and things like that. And she takes courses now. But her son and her daughter tested in the 98th percentile after 1 year being here in this country, in New Orleans. So they got scholarships all the way up. Her daughter is graduating from medical school next month. Her son being in the Army, in the Air Force, and he's going into law school with everything paid for, just because they work so hard and they've been so strong because of her. Doing nails and massages.
I'd like to say something. I'm Sophie Botero. I'm the oldest. We were 6 kids. I'm the oldest and she's the youngest. And then Martha were 5 women and 1 boy. All of the 6, including the 5 girls, went to university, and we all are professionals. And I'm very old, so at that time it was extremely rare in our society. And I think all that strength came from my mother, who couldn't study, not because they didn't have money, they had a lot of money, but because that wasn't correct, you know. For her, it was important to know how to ride the horse and become a housewife. But anyway, because of her, I think we all were successful. really think so. But I want to make a comment. Americans have no idea of the country you have here. This is a wonderful country, and especially the last part of last century. Things are changing now, and I'm very sorry about it. And we all need to do something so the country doesn't become a banana republic, like I'm seeing now. But to go back, the situation in Colombia has been horrible. There has been violence, they kidnap people, they do. Even daughters of former presidents have been kidnapped and killed. So you have no idea what Colombians go through. And there is not one family in Colombia that haven't suffered from a case like this. And 6 months before this happens, we went to Colombia, and all the brothers and sisters were together. Our fourth sister is a lawyer, and she has been a judge all her life. And her life was threatened, horrible. She has to work with a group of people taking care of her. And she called all of us, and she thought she was talking for her. And she said, well, the reality of a kidnapping in this family is too high. So we need to talk about that. There are two things in general you can do. Either you just talk to the kidnappers and pay the ransom, and you don't know if they return the person dead or alive, or you go to the special group of the police in the city that will take care of studying the case and trying to rescue the person. But first of all, whatever decision has been unanimous. And once we decided, we cannot change it. So we voted, and everybody said that we wanted to go to a Gaula group. Whatever happened, knowing that the person could be killed, that's what we're going to do. So when this happened, when Patricia thought she was the one that was going to be kidnapped, and then Claudia is the one that was kidnapped. And the people that kidnapped them discussed which of the two sisters were going to be kept, and the other one will go and tell the people that she had been kidnapped. And I'm not really exactly what, but she told them that we both have kids, but her kids are very small. Don't kidnap her. But no, they chose her, and they left Gloria walking in the sugarcane fields, like she said. The sugar canes in Colombia are this high, and you can walk for hours. And she worked for hours until she was able to find some workers that took her to a place where she could take a bus back to Cali to tell the family that she has been kidnapped. And then Martha was living here, and I was living in New Orleans, and they had to call all the family to say what was going on. I still remember I was in an ophthalmology meeting with my husband in New York, and we walked 30 blocks from the restaurant we were in when we learned the news all the way to the hotel. It was amazing. You just walk like a zombie. You just don't know what's going on, and you don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So we are very happy that by coincidence, the possibility to be coming, to have a visa in this country appeared, as Martha explained, and then she had to take a decision. First, after this big thing, she divorced her husband. So she came by herself with the 2 kids. So I'm really amazed about how strong you are. And the family too, because it was very, very difficult. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sophia. Thank you, Martha, and thank you, Claudia. This incredible story of resilience and hope and faith. And now our service continues.
Thank you. Could use a couple of ushers this morning. Would you join me in our offering blessing? It's in your program. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
This song I dedicate to all the turmoil that's going on in the world. From a distance, the earth looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, and no diseases, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They're the songs of every man. God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I can't comprehend what all this war is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the hope of hopes, it's the love of loves, it's the heart of every man. It's the hope of hopes, it's the love of loves, it's the song of every man. God is watching us, God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us. He is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us. She is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance.
I hope you're as grateful as I am for being present today and hearing this amazing message. So let us join together now in a visualization. Let us enfold this beautiful planet with peace and see that peace surrounding and enfolding each and every person, bringing their hearts and minds in any way contributing to that peace. We have a special blessing this morning on our speaker, Claudia, and her family and her friends. And we see these offerings continuing to bring a beautiful church, a beautiful congregation, and the work of this beautiful church as a lasting reminder that we are all one and that we can live in peace. And so it is. Amen.
Wow. If you'd like to form our semicircle as we celebrate life, love, friends this morning. Thank you so much for that inspirational message. Gosh. Birthdays, I know that Rich Hopkins had a birthday. Today is
75 years old.
Oh, no. Wow. Anyone else? Sandy had one last week. Yeah. Of course she is. And you're 40. Okay.
Nice hat, Danny.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rich. Happy birthday to you. surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Feel free to unmute when you want.
Wow, that was some story.